Okay, so episode 3, No Holds Barred. This is a podcast about pro wrestling, and our taping date is July 28th, 2011. Please visit our website, youroldenhardcopy.blogspot.com, and just check out some blogs there, leave some comments, subscribe to our channel, and watch some previous episodes. Okay, so last time we talked about CM Punk, and now we're just going to pretty much go through some crazy eventful stuff on Raw, starting with Money in the Bank, actually. What a really good pay-per-view. I was very surprised.
Money in the Bank, even before going into it, I totally actually wanted to pay for that pay-per-view, but unfortunately my housing would not allow me to cover pay-per-view, so therefore I had to stream it. But my God, that was probably the best pay-per-view I've seen this year so far.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
The crowd is ridiculous crazy into that pay-per-view. So.
Yes. All right, so as for results, we got Daniel Bryan getting the SmackDown bank. That was
shocker of the night.
It was a shocker of the night, but I think a lot of people were also rooting for him to get it.
Well, I mean, it's one thing for people to root for you, but it's another thing to actually see something for somebody like a mid-carder like Bryan that seemed like he was always getting pushed down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Actually get the Money in the Bank, and then go on to claim that he's cashing it in at WrestleMania, which is something no Money in the Bank winner's actually done yet.
Yeah, fair enough. You are right. Let's see. The Divas match was Kelly retaining.
That was a terrible match.
Whatever. No offense, but I'm just not really entertained by the Divas competition as of yet.
Eve could make a decent competition if you put her in there with a Melina or somebody that's actually good. But Kelly feuding with the Bellas is like, it's the blind leading the blind. Or in this case, the blonde leading the not blonde, but mentally blonde.
Dose mentally blondes. Alright, then we got Alberto Del Rio getting the other Money in the Bank. I gotta say, that's pretty much a really huge dick move with the Mysterio demasking thing, but I loved it.
Yes, so. I appreciated that. That was definitely one of the best matches of the night. The Money in the Bank was a little off. I felt that it was weird seeing how The Miz had to disappear so early into the match.
And then just come back on his quote-unquote injured knee. Also, that Sin Cara thing, and the other...
that was a crazy powerbomb.
Yeah. So now we understand that he is suspended.
Yep, he's been written out of storylines for the next 30 days. Whether or not he's going to actually be allowed back, nobody knows yet. But
he's been getting into some issues here and there. Okay, and then we've got, let's see, Christian and Orton.
Christian winning the world title under...
disqualification, actually. Yeah.
I was trying to think of a better term, something circumstances.
Yeah.
Questionable circumstances, I would say.
That's crazy.
But the beating he took after kind of made up for it. Yeah, I mean, you never want to see a world title switch on a disqualification, but Orton's beating kind of made up for that.
It was, twice, too. Yeah, he came back again. Then there was a Henry match and Big Show.
No, that match was just...
whatever. And then...
the main event?
Then the main event with
Cena. I haven't seen a reaction for a wrestler like that since RVD came out at One Night Stand 2 to face John Cena. Cena's got terrible luck against hometown crowds. When he's not on the home turf, that man has some issues.
Okay.
But,
just wrapping that up really quick, I did believe that Del Rio was going to cash in. Well, he kind of did, but then
he tried to.
Yeah. So he actually left, and if I wasn't seeing what was coming the next week, where Punk was going to get, or rather 2 weeks, where Punk was going to get reinstated, then I would have thought that they're just going to cash in, and Del Rio was going to get the championship.
I'd say the thing that surprises me about the whole CM Punk thing right now is how much opportunities they're taking outside of their programming to put over CM Punk. He just did a spot for Jimmy Kimmel.
He was at Comic-Con, actually.
Comic-Con, which was a huge public forum, and I did not see that coming.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, they're just taking this all over the place. And then, I don't know if you saw it. Did you see the picture he posted on his Twitter?
No, I didn't actually.
It was a spoof on the Fox 5 News, which says, it's 10 o'clock, do you know where your children are? His was, it's 12 o'clock, do you know where your title is? And he took a picture of the WWE title in a fridge.
In a fridge.
In a fridge.
That's great.
Probably his fridge, seeing how he's from the area, so
Yeah, right.
it was pretty funny.
Fantastic. All right, and I want that shirt.
Yeah,
It's
everyone
very
wants
nice.
that shirt.
All right, so next week, probably the biggest thing there is just how Vince McMahon was publicly forced to step down.
Yes, you can't see me doing the publicly
Yeah,
with
that-
the quotations right now.
If I could italicized
But,
that.
you know, this is a kind of interesting thing because right now there's some people outside of WWE saying, yes, Vince is legitimately stepping down from the company. Friends of Hunter, like X-Pac, people like that are saying Vince is actually stepping down. And this is just the beginning of the transition
Mhm.
for Vince stepping down into the new kind of era, I would say, of Triple H and Stephanie starting to run the show. I don't know what's going to happen storyline wise, but I mean, it's definitely a huge story.
I think it was a pretty good send off, but I'm pretty sure they'll have like another official one
Yeah, he
aired. So.
well, he got cheered pretty good after the cameras went off the air. People
Yeah,
were cheering
that's
him
the
and
thing,
applauding
though,
him.
It's just not live.
Yeah.
So he'll probably come back with the. So they can just redo that sort of. Okay, and let's see. After the Triple H thing, the next week, Mysterio gets a championship for 2 hours.
Yeah, that was.
I was so pissed off.
Don't get me wrong. I am slightly a John Cena fan. I appreciate what he does and where he comes from. I'm not a fan of his craft and how he does actually try to wrestle. But, you know, and I'm not that much of a Mysterio fan either right now. He's not the Mysterio of old anymore. But when he got the title, I was like, you know, he doesn't deserve it right now. I mean, he should be helping the mid-carders right now. And then 2 hours later, Cena wins it again after losing it 2 weeks prior. It doesn't really give your title much credibility.
Nope.
I mean, it's just like you say, okay, this guy's one of our big talents. Let's give it to him for a couple hours, and then we'll give it to John Cena again.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't say much for your talent, especially when you have such a deep roster with so many different talents that are actually really good and aren't getting used properly.
I think they're just tossing this title thing around so they could get a undisputed thing rather, with Punk. And also with the Del Rio thing. You know, everybody's pretty much just waiting for him to cash in. I have a pretty good idea, and a lot of my friends also too, that he'll just do it fairly early. I would say within a month or two. Not like Daniel Bryan though; he might actually wait on it for a little bit. So.
Well, Bryan is the only second competitor to actually announce when he's cashing in his Money in the Bank publicly and set a date.
I'm sure he'll stick with it.
Yeah.
All right, and also JR got reinstated.
JR is back.
Zack Ryder was on television.
Zack Ryder's actually had a match. He squashed Michael Cole in about 10 seconds, but it was still better than Cole versus
and
King.
And then lastly, the whole Punk coming back out with his Ring of Honor theme and with the other championship. So where do you think that's going to go?
Right now I'm seeing a title for title match. Winner is the undisputed champion. Kind of reminds me of the storyline with Razor Ramon and Shawn Michaels about around WrestleMania 10. Or God, that was almost. Oh my God, that was almost 17 years ago.
Yep.
Oh my God, I'm getting old.
Well, anyways, I agree also. So another undisputed thing. And then afterwards, another Del Rio takeover. I think they're just going to crank out this Punk thing a little bit longer. I don't really see a reason why Cena would have gotten the title just for that storyline, that is. If it wasn't for the storyline, I don't think they would have actually given it back to him. But
yeah, if they didn't get Punk back, maybe not. But WWE never leaves Cena out of the title picture for long.
Right. Just one more thing I want to say. I just really hope that the Punk and Cena thing, although it was great, I just don't want it to be stuck into one of those, Orton and Cena things that have been going on for about 2 years off and on, and everybody's seen it. So I just don't want to get overplayed.
To be honest, their best bet right now would be to leave the title on CM Punk. He's starting to basically turn into a new version of Steve Austin, and it's something. It's just something different, and at the same time, he's just that new anti-authority, and he's just gonna say what he wants and do what he wants, and I think that's kind of what makes CM Punk.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so our top 5 this time around. I guess this would probably be posted by August, so maybe this month. All right, mine is Zack Ryder first. I do want to put this in particular order, just because he's sort of like that voice of the voiceless, where if you actually watch his show, he does mention a lot of other guys on Superstars and things like that, like Chris Masters and so forth. So that's really cool, though, that he actually got on television. Hopefully he'll start a new thing going where they'll just push the other guys in under this new Triple H regime, I guess you would say. Mm-hmm. All right, then Daniel Bryan, for obvious reasons we talked about. Alberto Del Rio. I'm putting actually Punk in 4th just because I just have this feeling that Del Rio is just going to pretty much get that upper hand as soon as the whole storyline fizzes out with Punk, which could be a lot quicker than some people anticipate. I mean, you have to think about how long this has been going on for. Technically, I would say a month, because this all started with that promo that he did.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I would agree.
He'll still be around a top card, though. And then lastly, Orton. Sort of a new story thing going with him, which is good. I didn't really like this whole face angle that was going on for a while. It seemed to be going on too long, especially for him, especially since he's been heel for longer. And he really wanted to give Christian that chance, but now we're starting to see that crazy side of him again that we saw about last fall rather. And that's stuff I'm really excited about. So no TNA stuff for me this time.
Yeah, my list isn't going to comprise of any TNA, only because I've been missing TNA a lot lately due to school and work. But my top 5, and this is really in no particular order for me. CM Punk, we've stated a million times over in the last few weeks why CM Punk has been a great talent and is a good talent. So, I mean, we don't have to go into explanation there. Randy Orton, for the same reasons as my co-host. It's good to see him kind of go back into the crazed Orton that has no off switch on his mentality. Alberto Del Rio, for the same reasons. Money in the Bank. He's just been going strong, even though he lost to Kofi Kingston 2 weeks ago. Christian, he's the new world champion, so, I mean, that says something for him when he gets the title. So I'd give that to Christian. And 5, I would say John Morrison, because John Morrison is back, and holy crap, did you see him tackle R-Truth when he ran over those steps?
That was one of the ones I forgot to say that got reinstated.
John Morrison is back, and he's crazier than ever.
Yeah. They're going to have a great storyline with him and R-Truth.
Yep. So.
Fantastic. Alright, so thanks for tuning in. Watch our previous episodes. This was No Holds Barred, a podcast about pro wrestling. Please visit yourworldinhardcopy.blogspot.com, and we'll see you later.
We'll take you to the other side. Find me waiting there. You'll see if you just close your